Well, how goes?
Oh, fairly well. Since I've picked up the secondary gig at the shop, I now have done more overtime in the last month than I've done in the last 2 years combined. But the whole idea was I would get some help when I moved into the shop, and it hasn't happened.
I understand. Well, let's see here.
Reward for good work is more work.
The reward for good work is more work. That's absolutely right. Got it. All right. Well, I think I'm reasonably prepared. Just we shall see. Did you have a chance to see any of that last game? Any idea what happened there?
Well, I've got bits and pieces of it. I didn't get them.
Okay, well, just as well then.
And I got some cliff notes from Peg, so.
All right.
I know I didn't get sucked out of airlock, so I'll still participate tonight.
Well, you crashed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you don't know exactly what happened.
And I'm sure we weren't all in the same part of the ship, so we don't know who all's still upright or what.
Well, we're gonna work at that out pretty early. Question for you: do you want to play both John and Anna, or just one?
It doesn't matter. Who all's there?
It doesn't matter to me.
I've got both sheets pulled up, so.
What I'm thinking is you pick one and give Peg the other because he doesn't have a secondary, for this part.
Okay, well, that's fine.
So you pick, and then that's the way we'll make it. Cat, what's Cat doing? What you up to, buddy?
I guess I'll do Anna, and then he can have Blackbridge if he wants.
Got it. And let me make that so. Cat, come on, man, make up your mind. What do you want? Yeah, I think that's true. Howdy, Steven. How goes?
Hello. Goes well.
Let's see here. Where's the... here we are.
Shopping list for tomorrow.
So I guess that means that you are going to have a pickup.
I will.
All right.
Thank you.
Hell, where the hell is John? John, right here. Okay, I found him. Took a moment.
Now, I got both of them pulled up. Do I need to exit out of mine?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Just want to give him access to it.
I'm just going to give him access to it. That's right.
I got you. Okay. Logan says he's found a group at school that has interest in playing D&D. He's trying to suggest doing it Roll20.
Yeah.
Because of the onboard calculus.
Oh yeah, it makes it a lot easier for sure.
Especially for beginners,
Well, even for non-beginners.
Yeah.
They used to be in we've talked about this. You used to enjoy going through the books and making the characters and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, not anymore. It's tedious now.
Logan gave a set of dice to his girlfriend. She goes, I've got some of these. He says it was just peanut gallery for a while until he can find an opening for him to jump in. I know it told me we were in a finale tonight. So.
Yeah, I'm anticipating this will be the finale of the Traveler campaign. I've kind of done them 2 seasons. We had a season 1 and 2 for the Bare Necessity group, and had a season 3 and 4 for the Rithipol group or Rithipol Landing group. So this will be the end of 4.
Yeah.
Presuming the Cat cooperates. I'm not sure what his plans are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I got something for folks. You're my odd man out because Sam is in such bad shape.
Okay.
But I'll come up with something here. Come on, Cat. What are you doing, man? You're making all sorts of mess. Crazy cat. You've seen that watch before. What's so fascinating about it? I don't think that, I think it depends on what these folks do. Let's see. Is this the correct? Yeah, it's the right button. Okay.
If Roll20 has its way, everybody rolls a 1, gets eaten by a gory.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He says it works.
Cool. Excellent.
I'm sorry I had to create a whole new thing for it.
Oh no, that's no big deal. It's somebody's fault. It's just that we've had that Hangout forever. They got rid of Hangouts, so they're kind of forcing us to rebuild it with a new thing.
Yeah.
But I can still kind of copy and paste between them. It will make it work. It's a big deal. All right, that's good. I haven't had a chance to do the normal music thing because I thought that was one of the highlights of the last season finale, is that the whole kind of musical ending to it. But I guess we can reuse some old favorites. There's a cat. He's doing it again. He's pacing like crazy.
Is that him moving the camera or you?
That's him. He's behind the monitor. He poked his head out between the curtains over there. Yeah, so brushing up against the cable.
They're getting some battle shaky cam going on.
Oh, yeah.
You just set you a flashlight in the back to get some lens flares.
Get a little crystal ball or something. You can set up that like laser star show thing again. Yeah, probably not going to need that. See how that goes.
We started watching The Sandman on Netflix today.
What'd you think?
It's interesting.
Haven't watched a bit of it yet. That doesn't mean don't talk about it. I just convinced me I should.
Well, it was that was Newman's last obsession before he passed. It was the very beginnings of that comic series. And I've heard several people completely enamored with Neil Gaiman's writing. And it's covered some interesting things. It's a little woke, but it's covered some interesting themes in it. And I've not been, I'm not like, ooh, I can't wait for the next one. But I'm also impressed enough with it to keep watching.
Okay.
Me and Logan have gone through 5 or 6 episodes today.
Wow. Okay.
They're only like 45 minutes each.
Gotcha.
And like I said, it's just, I'm not familiar with the character, but I've heard snippets of its history throughout. The first story is like 4 episodes long. Then after that, it starts having you can tell, a full comic run in each episode.
Mm-hmm.
It covered 2 or 3 that had true beginning and ends to the episode. And now we're in the middle of another 2-parter. So it's not consistent, but it's interesting in its covering of heaven and hell theories.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's very similar to that Angels and Demons, that Gaiman show we watched a year or so ago. Just because it had a Doctor Who guy in it.
Good Omens?
Yeah.
Good Omens was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was,
yeah.
Are you sure you want to compare it to that?
Well, it is similar. You can tell it's the same writing. Covers some of the same topics. Some of the people look similar.
But I mean, is it a comedy though?
There are comedic elements. The Talking Raven, not like our Talking Ravens, is hilarious.
Okay.
They don't talk jive, but
no, that's too bad.
It reminds me more of the one from Maleficent, but there are some interesting themes in it. One in particular where they give this guy, imbue him with immortality.
I'm sorry.
And meet him at the same pub every year on the same date every 100 years to ask him how he feels about life and does he wish for death.
Mm-hmm.
Just for an experiment. And when I last checked, they were up to about 700 years.
I've impressed the pub last that long.
It didn't. They finally changed it, but some of those thematic elements were interesting to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Another example, one villain like stealing the serial killer convention in Huntsville, Alabama, is trying to get him to be their keynote speaker.
Okay.
And so they do a few copycat killings just to get his attention. And he shows up, says, "Why should I not kill you now?" And they explain to him why they need him. Says, "Oh, that's great." So we haven't gotten to the point where he's actually speaking yet, but the fact it was a serial killer convention in Huntsville, Alabama was hilarious.
You got to wonder where they pulled that out of their hat.
Somehow I can see it, but you know,
Oh, well, maybe.
BBCC South Hall.
We're hearing a little bit of Darth Vader there from you. E.
Oh, sorry.
Howdy, Mr. Pig.
You two arrived muted.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
So
Hey,
how
look.
goes? Yeah. All right. Well, I guess this is enough of a quorum to dive in. I'm not even going to ask, do you remember where we part? Instead, so Loki, Anna, John, Sam, not Isaac, if you remember, is Bitterman's twin brother. So things have heated up. You were, oh, what's up, Cat? Yeah, the cat's being vocal now. Black Fleet showed up, is headed for the ring world. There's an evacuation going on. Dante went up to the top of Mount Kowalski to essentially put an end to the ring world with the idea that it would split it up and create something that could fight the Black Fleet and the Willemicans.
Right.
Ended up fighting Willemica himself and losing, but not fatally. The last game, our heroes show up and fight Willemica's goons, including the wherein, who killed Sid. So,
No, push it.
Sid, dirt and runny, sneaky fairs. And they managed to blast their way into this central chamber, the central chamber of the story, where Willemica faced off with Dante. And that's where we left them. But now back to you guys. You were in one of 3 Novas that was sent up there to assault, the top of Mount Kowalski. But 2 of them were shot down. That's where we begin. If this works properly. I think people should not see much. A character, if anything, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there will be sound effects and all the good stuff.
I can also control Eliethia.
Okay, that's fine. Don't move her. I put her there for anybody that didn't have a controllable token. All right. Yeah, dang it, where'd it go? Okay. So on the way down, thank you. On the way down, the captain of Nova 88, the one that you happen to be on, tells the passengers, get up topside, get up to the airlock, get ready to get out. He's going to try the best he can to make a controlled landing. But it's pretty clear to those of you with any sort of pilot skill that that's not going to happen. The Nova 88 engines were heavily damaged in the firefight with a cutter that was on the top of Mount Kowalski where the goons had deployed from. And she looks like she's going to hit right smack dab in the side of the mountain. So for purposes of the beginning here, Peg, you have control of Anna. That was John Blackridge, since both of C's characters are going to be involved, he was going to just take one and you get the other for the moment. All right. Roll endurance checks, all of you, that were involved in that crash just now. That's Loki, the Blackridges. Sam's not here to roll for himself.
You should have control of it, Peg, where you can get a hold of it.
Yeah. Damn.
Now it took some effort to be a 3.
No. Okay. Everybody's unconscious at the beginning of this, and we'll deal with injuries here in a moment. The first thing, Anna, that you become aware of is a sound.
Stop, children. What's that sound?
Oh, you'll know. The second thing that Anna is aware of is an intense feeling of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll give you all the option to choose how you were decked out. Combat gear or suits or weapons, same as the other group.
I think she's got a combat suit.
All right.
Tailored back suit over protect.
Okay. Out enough.
Good evening.
So today you're playing, let me turn it down a little bit more so I can hear enough. So today you're playing Sam, not Isaac, and you were just involved in a crash of a Nova. You're not quite sure how bad things are.
Do you mean Ron?
You're right. It's Ron. Yeah. It's Ron, not Isaac. That is totally correct. All right. Well, let's correct that. It should be Ron. Okay. But for the moment, you, like the rest of this group, you've funneled up to an airlock on top of the Nova that crashed, and you're unconscious at the moment. Now, we were dealing with Anna. So, Anna, you open your eyes to see, having to work it. I think this takes effect immediately. There it is. Boom. The rest of you are going to see that too, but
What, being unconscious? I don't really care.
that's right. You're having sweet dreams. And yes, Peg, I did actually break down and get your animated fire.
It's pretty fun, right?
It sure as hell is, yeah.
Where's Bob?
He's not with you. You're in an airlock. The airlock exit is here, the outer exit, and the inner exit to the rest of the Nova was here. But as you see, there's flames on the other side of that door.
Move Ron's leg away from the fire.
Okay, fair enough. Ron, John, and Loki make endurance rolls checks again. And let's see. Combat armor. So everybody roll 2d6. Okay, no problem. All right, good. No problem. All right, so your armors and vac suits and such absorb the worst of the impact. You got thrown around pretty good. Everybody that does not feel good, but no major injuries. Okay. So Ron is awake. At this point, John is still out, and Loki's still out. So yeah, John, you wake up to that. Or rather, Ron. So what do you guys do?
Whoa, what a good dream. I was laying out on the beach under the sun. It was nice and warm. Ah, fire.
Yeah. It is nice and warm. And
Should be a stowed extinguisher somewhere.
Put out the fire, yes.
okay. So anybody have a survival as a skill?
Let's see.
And if not, then using a fire extinguisher is not like a huge thing.
This one doesn't have it.
That's no problem. So Ron to the rescue. He finds in the emergency stash and the airlock in between inner and outer. You have emergency suits and such. Grabs one and starts trying to extinguish the fire, except that it's just not working. The fire seems to be coming in through the vents that normally withdraw or add air to the airlock. It's coming from the ventilation system elsewhere in the ship.
Oh man, the air's on fire.
And one other thing, you notice that the exterior window is cracked and obscured. You can't actually see out.
I need to determine where we're at, I guess. If are we in space? Are we on the ground? What's going on?
You're not in space. You don't think you think you crash into the side of a mountain, and with inside of Nova, which is a 50-ton gunship. You folks, were the passengers. You were ordered to get up topside where there's an airlock to have a chance to escape whenever they hit down. And well, they're down, and you don't know what's happened to the rest of the crew or the ship, except there's fire, lots and lots of fire.
Well, if it's coming in the vents, we need to get out of here and everybody else out of it. See if we can't figure out a way out.
I'm afraid to blow the hatch, friend. We may be overturned. Obscure, blocked.
So John and Loki roll endurance.
Keep getting better. Little by bit.
Okay, so John, you wake up, and now you're part of this. You see what's going on.
Not much
I
help.
just wakes up. Man, it's hot in here.
Yeah, and it's getting hotter too.
And I was trying to figure out if it was safe to blow the hatch. But with an 8, she don't know.
So what that tells you is that the hatch is no power in here to any system at this point.
Yeah.
Except for things that run on batteries like emergency lights. You notice that the hatch seems buckled. It actually looks like it is blowing it. You might actually have to find some way to blow it.
Gotcha.
Loki, one more roll. And everybody else endurance rolls. Now it's starting to get uncomfortably hot. Loki, you're awake?
Is there any way to manually close these vents?
Yeah, it may be. You got a mechanic roll?
Oh, that was awful. She just passed out.
No, you're fine. That just means the heat. Okay? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that stops the fire that's leaking into the chamber. It doesn't stop the heat from increasing. And by the way, Loki, while you were doing that, you noticed strange steam coming from the vents on this end. Hang on there. Okay, kind of ignore that, Ron.
Is there anything that should be there that would contain water?
There's not a lot of water on the ship except for the drinking stores.
All right, so to let folks know, there's probably we're probably
Submerged.
yeah, taking on water.
All right. So what next for you folks?
Well, if someone says we might be submerged out loud, I think was everybody present in a suit of some kind. So if water came in, we'd be okay.
You can find suits. You were probably already in them. You'll have the option of wearing whatever you want because you're about to go into a fight. So I heard folks in combat armor, which counts as a pressurized suit. I think Loki, you said you had some form-fitting armor, form-fitting vac suit. That's a TL-14 job, which works.
Right.
And Ron, if you don't have one, then you can grab from the one from the emergency stores here. No problem. But like Professor Farnsworth said of spaceships and vac suits, when I asked how many pressure underwater they could withstand, well, they were designed to withstand 1 atmosphere. So I would say 1, not much. So yeah, don't expect to go deep diving in these guys. Everybody roll endurance. This is not you passing out. This is you, the effects of the heat. My God, guys, Jesus Christ. All right, Ron, you take a point of endurance damage, and John takes a point of endurance damage. The difficulty number goes up every time we go. Okay. What's your next move?
Doesn't have explosive bolts on there, are there?
Tried that
Roll,
then.
Yeah, the bolt, it may, but the door itself seems buckled. You're not sure exactly what, if it had such a thing, how that might behave. But if you have a mechanic roll, give that a shot, and I'll tell you. Okay, both are excellent. Yes, it does have an explosive bolt system and a manual release system. The manual release system is non-functional because of the door buckled. The explosive bolt system may not work if it doesn't clear properly, but the trick is, can you arm it? Can you make it work?
Well, attempt to do so because we're not getting any better here.
Roll endurance, everybody. And so, is that your plan? Is that what you want to do? Try to blow it open?
Yes.
Okay. Loki takes a point of endurance damage. Okay. So, mechanical. Okay, that works. Let's see what we got here. We're about to find something out. Let me see if he's... Yeah, he is. Okay. And here we go. The bolts successfully explode. There's a rush of pressure and the door doesn't budge. You're pretty sure that it has dislodged further, but there seems to be something holding it in.
You said there was a problem with the manual release?
Yeah, the door is buckled. You can't follow its normal train.
Right.
And now it's off that completely. But it's still being held in place by something on the outside.
She's going to push on the door.
You're going to push on the door. Okay, roll endurance. Okay, well, nothing really happens, but even the brief content indicates, wow, that's hot. I mean, you're wearing a suit, so it's not like you put your paws right up there on the door. So, but still, you got the sensation that the door itself is just blazing hot. You hear a bit of a crackle above the roar of the fire around you, and that's all of you. Let's see if I can emulate it.
I mean, is there absolutely any other way out of this room other than that one hatch?
No, there is the inner hatch, but as you've seen, it's on fire on the other side. Yeah, inner hatch goes to the rest of the ship. Outer hatch goes outside, but you hear that sound. Or did you hear that sound? My mic might have filtered it.
No, did not hear a sound.
So you hear a sound like metal on metal. Yeah, my mic's filtering it.
I heard you.
Doors, the greatest enemy on any RPG.
Yeah.
Take my hammer wrench and pound on the wall a couple times.
And you hear an echoing ching ching. Now,
Which
if
way?
you wanted, which way to come? That's what I was going to ask you. Okay, roll an intelligence check. All of you. Oh yeah, no problem. So, it seemed to come from over here, outside.
Our comm is working at all.
Okay, now you're trying comms. They're staticky. There seems to be an enormous amount of interference, except that, as I said, you heard a crackle, and you hear a crackle again. But you can make an intelligence check to try to make some more sense of that.
No, I won't.
No.
John distinctly thinks he heard the words extraction in a kind of raspy metallic voice.
Step away from the door.
I step toward the door and say, extract now, and then back up real quick.
Okay, here we go. You hear something clamp onto the edges of the door. And there's screeching and pulling. And then you see several things at once. It is standing in the middle of this inferno that rushes into the room. The heat of it does. Holding the door, but you see that he is up to like... You see, Bob is mostly legs, as you can see from the thing, right? He's up to his hips in water. Apparently, he's standing on a piece of the ship. But Bob himself is on fire.
Spray Bob with the fire extinguisher.
It's a really big fire.
It'll help mitigate.
And Bob, you hear him clearly now. Extraction. But you, as he says that, his vocal seems to be on the fritz. Extraction.
Tell them to submerge. And we've heard we've got lots of them fire to go through. Can we dive underwater and swim?
Well, you know how deep where you know how deep it is where Bob is. It's at least about 3 or 4 feet deep. And what is on fire? That's a good question. If it were oil on top of water, then sure, yeah, submerge and go. But what is that fire? You're not really sure.
Don't want to stand here. Let's go.
Bob looks like he's sinking in. He's not moving, but he's sinking. And then you see water beginning to rush in here, you know, where the door's been removed.
How long can a vac suit stand up to fire? No time
So,
or any time?
Anybody have let's see a vac suit roll. Now, there is such a thing as a hazardous environment vac suit. You're not in it? Oh, okay, Ron. Okay. Ron, you think that you have 15 seconds?
All right. Is everybody in the room ambulatory?
Well, the only person that's not conscious is Eliethia. But yeah, everybody else is awake and in a similar suit or better suit as yours.
Get through that fire in 10 seconds, guys. Help me carry her.
Okay. Anybody have swimming skill?
No.
I mislabeled it as athletics.
Okay, that'll work. Roll your athletic skill if you have such.
Oh, I'm not doing well carrying Eliethia.
Okay, so you drop Eliethia. Yeah, you drop Eliethia. Loki. Man, okay. So here's what you see as you get outside, and we'll go ahead and you're making kind of a dash out, away from the fire, away from the airlock. First, I'm going to go ahead and move you guys out. You're not melting just yet. Yeah, you really don't have a chance to appreciate this. So, a couple of things I want to point out is that the only part of the ship that you actually see above water is this top airlock. Looks like the rest of it is in fairly deep water, you know, all around you. And as you just dive off this wing, Ron, that's not such a big deal for you in the suit, the type of suit that you're in. You know, it floats. But how about those combat armor? It doesn't. So you're gonna have to really struggle to do what you can, and you're not you lose the battle almost immediately. But something interesting happens as Anna and John step off the wing trying to get away from the ship. And Loki, as I say, you drop Eliethia. But Bob kind of goes over there and tries to pick up Eliethia. So, Loki, do you want to leave it to Bob or head on out?
Yeah, I'll leave it to Bob. He's got a
All right. So you're going to be with Ron because your type of suit floats. And we'll discuss this other stuff here in a minute. First off, Anna and John, you instantly start to sink. And one thing kind of rushes out at you is that this is deep water. And the reason you can tell that is behind you is the Nova, all beat up, slowly sinking into this whatever it is. But beneath you, in that deep water all around you, you see the lights of a city submerged under the water. You don't see, critters or people, just the lights of something that's far, far down there. Couldn't even hazard a guess, but you're pretty damn sure you don't want to go all the way down.
Right.
So kick your feet like you mean it.
Mm.
Roll acrobatics or strength roll.
Both suck.
Ron was a junior lifeguard growing up, so he's gonna help.
That's because you float. You're a life preserver.
Okay, that's good enough for Anna. Mm-hmm. And go ahead and John, you roll a strength roll as well. Oy vey. So yeah, John starts to sink like a stone. Anna, you manage to pull out. Ron and Loki, you find that there's a. It's actually, if you took the water away, this would be a very high catwalk. Maybe hundreds of feet over whatever's down there. But now you just kind of grab onto the edge of it and pull yourself up, like so. And
Well,
Anna will
if
say,
Ron sees they're struggling, he's gonna dive in and try to help John swim
John's
back.
having a hell of a time, and so too actually is Bob. I mean, Bob's doing everything he can to not sink, while kind of pushing Eliethia along. Eliethia is not in combat armor, so she's floating. She doesn't need much help. Like one of you guys can go out and grab her, but Bob, on the other hand, begins to sink. So
I'll help
all right,
John before I help Bob.
fair enough. So Ron, you go for it. Whichever skill you think is appropriate here. Okay, yeah, we'll say that's good enough. And let's get a decent strength roll from John.
Yeah, good luck.
It's okay. You're having a hard time pulling him up, but you're making progress towards the catwalk. So we'll say you're kind of here at this point. And we'll deal with Bob here in a moment. So
So,
one more roll for Ron and John.
Ron is reminded of the lifeguard test where you have to swim with a brick,
Yeah. Daggum. All right. Well, you get John up to the side, and with the help of the others, manage to hold him there until everybody together can pull him over the side. And John, you're like, oh my God. That would not have been fun. But Bob sinks out of view. You see his lights eventually turn off.
try to contact him via radio.
Just that hard static that you heard before.
Did he sink with one hand raised and the thumb up?
Yeah, Joy.
Maybe not a thumb. I don't know.
Yeah. It's his option, right? So you've managed to escape the fire, and as you look behind you, yeah, the Nova sinks out of view and begins just slowly making its way down. Those fires stay lit, though. You're still not quite sure what that's all about, but I think we can turn that off. You get the point. All right. So here we go. When you turn around, this is what you see. It looks like when the Nova impacted the side of the mountain, it punched a hole at what was probably a covering, like a dome over the city that had been built in a belt around it. The city, if you look over the side of the catwalk, yeah, you see it's vast. You've never seen ruins intact before on the Ring World, and this might be a reason why. They've always been hidden like this in structures adjacent to mountains or deep underground. But where you're at is what appears to be a temple of sorts. We don't know much about the ancients, but we have seen in times past where they revered their warriors and their leaders. This may be something like that, except it stands at the top of the city. It might be something more important. But to everyone here, yeah, this screams ancients. All right. We can leave that too. There is a, as you see, a kind of a central dais and a not brightly but noticeably glowing blue energy kind of surrounding the center of it. Large. It's like 20 feet across. Reaches up in a pillar into that stream of water that's pouring down from above. Presumably, that hole hasn't been always been there, so the water is coming from something else, but it happens to be pouring right into that dais. Everybody roll 2d6, and let's see what we got here. Loki can add 3, and John and Anna, just whatever you got. And Ron, why don't you roll 1d6, and we'll call that your science score. Okay, so you had 4. Okay, what we got here? 5 to 12. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, wow, that's not bad. All right. So Loki, Ron, you've never had any sort of, you're fairly young still. So that's why the psionics thing, you've heard of it. You haven't had any official training.
Right.
You're only as old as you feel. Ron's personal motto.
And Loki, you've more than heard of it, and maybe had some minor training from psionics and rhythmical landing, but it's not your thing, right? But both the two of you feel some strong psionic pull coming from that pillar of energy in the center of the dais. Not characterizing it as good or bad or sentient or not, just something psionic about it. And as for the Black Ridges, they kind of glance at each other and go, You don't feel a thing. Eliethia, still out.
Check on her.
She was wearing a TO-14 vac suit similar to you. She seems to be physically fine. You're not quite sure why she's unconscious at this point. The rest of you seem to be just fine.
Do we see a path towards the center of that?
You're standing on it, the catwalk. Oh, you mean from the edge of the catwalk?
Yeah.
It steps up, and then, you can walk into it. Right up to it, into it. Yeah.
So we're at the base.
So let me get my pointer out. Catwalk ends here.
Right.
First step, second step.
Right.
Third step, light.
Then approach.
Okay. So the rest of you see Loki stepping towards the light. Anyone have any comment about that?
Ron's just gonna do a little turn on this catwalk and see what he sees.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. I think Ron actually has an appropriate skill for this. Where are you? Don't actually have it. Do you have like a recon or something like that? Thank you.
That I do.
Okay, Ron. You see this swimming far beneath the surface.
I will say, guys, check that out.
Yeah, and the rest of you look over the side of the catwalk, and you can't really judge how big that thing is, but it's big enough to obscure large buildings in the cityscape below. It doesn't seem to have noticed you or the Nova. It's just slowly making its way through this inland sea.
Oh, big gubba fish.
Okay. Bait him up. Roll your fishing skill. Go. All right. Yeah. This is Final Fantasy 11, and you would be catching fish that size and wouldn't blink an eye. Okay.
Catching you.
Meanwhile, Loki, I mean, the closer you get to it, the stronger this sense of energy pervades around you, and you kind of get the sense that there are, well, almost whispers. We can almost hear like there's some not many, but maybe 4, 5, 6 different voices kind of whispering to each other. Yeah. Hey, I owe you. That one. Yeah.
Do any of those voices sound like Eliethia?
You don't know. They don't sound like anything, really. But no, you don't identify any of them as Eliethia.
I let them know that I hear voices and it's coming from in my head.
Loki's lost it, everybody. It's official.
What do we notice?
Loki noticed as Loki approached this energy pillar in the center dais, kind of the sounds of voices, whispers.
Yeah, I was saying, would we notice if Loki had lost it?
Seemed pretty reasonable. Hello, Cat. The cat has returned. Standing right in front of the monitor. Hey, buddy. How are you? Okay, so according to what I see of the monitor, there's a giant cat that's just appeared in the middle of the dais.
They'll take care of the giant fish.
Okay, cat, kraken, fight, go. Bing. Let me set something up here real quick. And as
Sam,
you guys
challenge, just hit it up here.
No. I see you. I know you want attention. Yeah, you're all right. Off you go. All righty. Where is that silly thing? Ah, there we go. That's the one I want. Okay, so what next?
Well, pointing at the creature swimming, Ron's gonna say we should be very quiet.
I say the crazy cat's better than a giant fish.
The other end of the catwalk are attached to what?
They're submerged. They go under the waves. Or the stillness, I should say. There's not much wave action here.
Are these catwalks at a slight angle, going up?
Mm-hmm.
Does there appear to be any direction we can go that would have a way to climb out of the hole?
Well, if you could reach up, get some sort of line up there, you could climb out. Don't believe any of you have the equipment for it, though. No anti-grav boots, no jetpacks. You might have sufficient line, but the trick is, how do you get it up that distance? Okay. Loki, Ron, 2d6 each. Damn. Okay, now we're starting to see the good rolls. So, Ron, you're back there, and you were kind of, eyeing the fish. You're starting to hear something, what you think is what Loki's hearing, some distinct whispers. Loki, those whispers have become louder for you, and you can actually make out some of the words that one of the voices is saying in a very mechanical voice. Organics, kill them, organics. Must kill the organics, kill them.
I say, hey, I'm getting this message. And I step back.
And as you step back, this appears. Above the water, just a kind of a void of darkness. That seems to be where this whisper is coming from.
Don't we need magic missile to be able to attack the darkness?
You just drive off the platform or shoot it with ACRs or something. Now, that's appeared up there. And mind you, John and Anna, you can see it as well now. You can't hear these whispers or feel anything that Loki or Ron are describing. But yeah, you see that appeared.
She backs away from that, heading back towards the light and getting closer to the light.
Okay.
Thinking Loki knows what they're doing, I'm going to help drag Eliethia to try to get her closer to the light than the darkness. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll make that so. Come on now. Okay. Kind of drag Eliethia over there. Prop up against some of the wreckage. As you're doing that, Ron, you see something else appear on the opposite side of that.
Uh-oh.
And the voice that Loki, you don't hear this one, but Ryan, since you noticed it, it is a flaming sphere with a ring around it. And the whisper that you hear from that is of not necessarily a mechanical voice, but not necessarily human either. It's more of a thought and impression. Preserve life. Save lives.
Guys, we like that one over there. The flaming ball of fire with the ring around it is chill. Let's go.
A flaming ball of fire. All right. Do the rest of you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess you drag Eliethia over there too. As you do so, you actually see within the flame. Oh, we'll let John and Anna roll your. Who has a paladin roll in this group?
You said pilot?
John does.
Okay. John, roll your paladin. Okay. John, you're looking at that thing, and okay. Ron says it's cool, so all right. But you're really kind of freaked out by the black one anyway. But you peer in there and whoa, wait a minute. It's not just a flaming sphere, it's also like a projection of some sort. It's within it you see the Rithipal and a large number of smaller ships.
John will go, well, I don't know if I hit my head harder than I thought, but I think I can see images in the flaming sphere.
What is that? A ship for ants?
We watched one of the Gru's, the little Gru outtakes that they have, the 6-minute things, and the Gru finds this tiny civilization.
Oh, yes.
And then steps on it. Yeah. So, yeah, something like that. And now that you think about it, if you look over at that blank sphere, having had seen what you've seen, look within there, you see this.
Nope.
All right.
Are the spheres moving in any way?
No, they seem to be relatively fixed. And let's see, Loki, John, Ron, Blum. Yeah, you don't need to roll for this. This reminds you of something. Do you remember Una's hideout? Way back when?
Mm-hmm.
Una had some scrying type devices. That's what these look like, except on a bigger scale. Una's ancient scrying devices were good for a few hundred miles, but this stuff's going on far, far away. Light hours in the case of the Black Fleet. This is ancient tech.
Getting any signals?
Radio signals? No.
Yes. No.
Heavy interference. There's still a couple of 3 voices that you can't quite make out. But it doesn't look like they're getting any easier. You'll have to take some affirmative action in order to change the situation.
Yeah, I don't think Ron knows about Una's hideout, so he wouldn't be aware of that.
Yeah, Ron wouldn't, but I think the rest of this crew does.
That energy code in the center is. Is there anything generating it? Is there any machinery down there?
It's not a down there; it's an up there, and you don't know if it's generating it, but there does appear to be an apparatus of sorts.
All right, that's something she can put her hands on. She's gonna go check that out.
Going inside the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tossing somebody a rope.
Yeah. Okay, so Loki marches confidently into the blue glowing light.
Must know something burning like a cat on fire.
Dog hair.
Yeah, it's dog. Yeah, right. So give us just a moment. Back with our other group, and I may need to. I'll set Emiko here up so that people can see what's going on in here. Okay. You had just fought off Relimica. You have both of those with the halberds. And you've met some new friends. You've met these 2 Aslan that have been trying to stop Relimica from doing whatever he's doing. And we're debating over this apparatus down here in the southern part of this chamber. But the chamber itself is perhaps the important thing. This is pretty obviously where Dante was coming to do whatever he was going to do. And obviously, equally, he hasn't done it. All right. Did I catch you totally off guard?
Well, okay, so we've got these 2.
Yeah, this guy. It's Janice. Did we lose the other one? No, this guy. Yeah. So an older Aslan and a younger fella. Let's see if we can find that here. And the younger fellow introduces himself as Wes Zalat. The older Aslan, it turns out, is quite old. He doesn't give a name, except to say that he was part of the original group that the Rithipol team, that the Kalish rescued from the asteroid colony. So he was a miner back in his youth, which was 70 years ago. Yeah, he's an old fellow. And he's known Relimica since a child. All they know about this room is that Relimica's been here before. And he seems to have drawn much of his... the old one believes that this is where Relimica has come to focus himself. So there must be some sort of psionic connection here, but he's quite old. He doesn't know how to leverage that. And Wes there doesn't have any psionic talent. And those of you that are looking around will notice a recently destroyed ancient artifact. Oh, what's that? Interesting. Way down here.
Virgil will go see what it is.
Virgil, you recognize it. This is the, at least in form, if you put the 2 pieces together, it's like the, what they call the Rithipol artifact, the artifact that was so instrumental in saving the Rithipol at the end of its encounter with the world eaters. Sliced clean in 2.
Well, Virgil will pick it up.
All right, you got it.
He just kind of puts it in his pocket and just goes, probably fix that later.
Yeah, a little bit of super glue.
Some
Now,
duct tape.
for those of you that are looking at the stuff in the middle, this looks a lot like, not the stuff that's kind of blue glowy, but surrounding it, you have that same kind of regolith that you've seen where the underlying structure of the ring world has been poking up through the surface, all surrounding it in that inner circle out here. So yeah, this seems to be something related to the ring world's guts, as it were. No wonder Dante wanted to come here and sprinkle it with mom's blood. The only apparatus that you can see is down here.
Well, I'll walk around the blue light and take a look at said apparatus.
Okay. Roll your favorite tech skill, and then roll 2d6.
I don't have any tech skills.
Jack of all trades works. Okay. Pretty decent roll, and got it. All right. You don't have any idea what the hell that is. It's ancient, definitely in origin. And the old Aslan comes up and starts commenting on it. But as he starts talking about it, the apparatus resembles the artifact that was found and blah, 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 blah. He seems to know quite a bit about it. You're kind of drawn into the thing. You get an image of a different place, just very briefly, of that, of the Nova destroyed, sinking in the water, of the ruined ancient city beneath, of Loki, who's just now stepped inside this pillar of blue energy, but then it snaps right back. It's like you had that flash and like, whoa.
That was weird. I just saw the others, the crashed Nova.
And the old Aslan, indeed. Strange, I haven't seen anything at all. And he peers at it and just shakes his head. All right. So, Virgil, you're the. It's really you and Janice at this point, and Bitterman. What do you folks? What action do you want to take before next thing happens? Now that you heard that little snippet from Janice,
Bitterman's just going to be sad.
for good reason.
I don't know. I think Virgil's a little bit more intrigued right now. People are able to see stuff, and this ancient artifact from the past, a legendary artifact. He's more perplexed.
Now you get close to that, and like the old man, the old Aslan, you're not getting anything out of it. But Janice, you're still like, hesitant to even come close to it. That was totally unexpected. All right, Loki, roll 2d6 as you pass in to that field and approach the apparatus. Okay. Okay, here we are. So you've got this apparatus in front of you. It looks relatively simple. You pass through this the energy field, and you felt your hair standing on end, which is saying something for a Varg. But otherwise, you're unharmed, and it's not like you're being smashed down or anything like that. Yeah, roll sadness. Damn, what a good roll. The apparatus appears to be, well, exactly what Janice is looking at up top. So you have not had Janice's recent experience. What do you do with that? You have essentially what appears to be a kind of a crystal, a well-formed crystal, metallic plates around it. And if not going to have to roll for this, but it looks very Zodani in construction. And the reason that kicks is Zodani built a lot of things that could not be operated unless you had psionics of some sort.
Give a thumbs up to everybody else.
Okay, they're really worried now.
You want to come in before I start pushing buttons?
The rest of you want to go in there before Loki starts pushing buttons?
The other group, you mean?
Yeah, okay. I guess it would be easier if I actually showed you the other group. Yes, the other group.
Might as well.
Okay, so Ryan's all for it. Drags Eliethia with him.
Yeah, I'll bite.
Okay.
Sounds like a great idea. Let's do it.
John doesn't want to be left alone, so he'll go.
Okay. So what do you do there, Loki?
Going to use the force and touch the thing.
All right. Roll 2d6. And Janice, roll 2d6. Ooh, okay. And Virgil, roll an intelligence check. Bitterman, you're still being sad.
Nice.
All right. So we'll start with the group here. Loki, you're not quite sure what to expect or what to do, but you start pressing buttons, as it were. And this time, everybody that's inside that field gets something out of this. The voices that you've been hearing coming from these spheres, these scrying spheres, shall we call them, rise and fall in intensity. You begin hearing radio traffic between the Rithipol and the other ships, the Necessity and the others. that are gathered together in the evacuation, and they're making plans to thrust away from the Black Fleet. You hear the voices of the Black Fleet ships eerily talking to each other, making plans, setting vectors. How are they going to engage the organics? You hear this voice that you heard before talking about preserving life and not knowing how. There is no way for it to intervene in what is about to happen. And then you see this. Right, yeah, here we go. A third one of those spheres appears, and it's very strange. Well, it's all very strange. But if you didn't know better, you would swear that you're looking at something inside jump space. I don't think you see that, so I'll go ahead and move it over. Inside that third one, you don't hear voices, but you do see something that looks like this. Ships. A fleet of ships. So, make a engineering or pilot roll, whichever's better, amongst that group that's down there. Loki, good. Okay. Well, yeah. So we'll give it to Loki and Anna. That is a fleet of Imperium warships. It doesn't look like the Black Fleet in that these are fresh. They're all of the same type and build, meaning they're all Imperium ships. They're not like a scattered mishmash of Aslan, Soleimani, Varg, etc. You can't pick out individual ship classes except to see that the one in the foreground's definitely a warship. You just don't know about the rest. And what's mind-blowing is that you get the impression that these are ships in jump space somehow, somewhere. It's the ancients played with some weird stuff. Loki, are you done mashing buttons? Or you're going to mash some more?
Now try to figure out a way to link the red one to the purple one.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You mean bring the purple one to the red one?
Well, the red one was wanting to know how to help, and it's like, okay, hey, if you connect us to them, that will help.
Okay. So back up top, we'll get back to that in a minute. All right. Virgil, you're the only one to notice it. All right, let me grab it real quick. You looking around, you're there's something kind of bugging you about this whole scene. That artifact that you just picked up was famous for being extremely powerful in that it could absorb or project energy patterns. It on a grand scale. How did it come to be cleaved in two? And you're kind of mulling that over as Janice is kind of trying not to do anything, but having a hard time not doing anything with that artifact there. All right. So I'm going to go grab this guy. There he is. Make sure I'm on there. Okay. So move folks around a little bit. Folks have tended to gravitate to this side here due to staying close to the old Aslan. So Virgil, you were the only one looking in this direction. You Virgil are only going to get a chance to make a single action. That appears out of thin air, and it is huge.
So Virgil's gonna go, oh fuck.
Okay, that's your action, Run. And Virgil, at that in the helm of that thing, you actually see a crop of white hair. There's only one person you've seen with white hair so far today. Or Lemica.
Yeah, basically he's back with a bigger suit, and I'll
Okay.
shoot at him.
You've got an assortment of weapons with which to shoot him. All right. Oh, damn, it's a great roll. Well, hold on. Is it 10? Okay.
It'll be enough to get everyone's attention.
Yeah, when everybody hears the big giant flamethrower, Una's flamethrower go off, yeah, it's like, oh Lord. Okay, it bounds across the room. That was a nice solid hit, but you saw it get deflected. It's just a trick, right? And Janice, you're just turning around when this thing comes roaring up beside you, but it doesn't attack you. Instead, it touches the artifact and vanishes. So you were going to try to get the purple thing into the red thing, huh? So let's see that roll there, Loki.
What do you want? Engineering or electronics? Or
2d6. This is your 2d6 plus psi,
Please.
which is 3.
all right.
Oh wow, that's pretty good. You're not sure exactly how to operate this thing, but you don't seem to need to know, because your intent, once you kind of establish some sort of connection with it, seems to get the apparatus to act. And you see those ships begin to vanish from jump space, but you can't really see the whole effect of that because something else happened at the same time. That shows up. But pointedly, it is outside the energy field. So no need for initiative. What do you guys want to do? And we'll talk to you guys at the top here in a moment.
Ron is not sure why, but he hates it.
Yeah.
Look at the red sphere. Are those ships pairing in with them?
Well, it's hard to tell because this thing is definitely has your attention now. When it starts raising that axe. What is this? For those of you that have played with these toys before, that is a red-bladed axe. Somebody took his blue toy away.
Bertolt kind of noticed something behind a corner. What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Finders keepers. He dropped it.
A thing like that.
Unfortunately, yeah, this team didn't have the heavy weapons that the assault team did. But you do have something that he doesn't. And it should be pretty obvious what that might be.
Bob. We have Bob.
Bob leaps from the water. And you get this matrix effect, he's just falling down on him. All right. Well, while you are thinking about that, meanwhile, back up topside, what just happened? The guy can teleport, but yeah, okay.
I say, I'm going to do something stupid. Ready the halberd, and I touch the artifact.
Ooh. Okay. Roll 2d6. That'll be fun. Okay. You said you were doing something stupid, but what were you thinking at the time?
Hey, y'all.
Well,
What?
if he went somewhere, hopefully I'll go to the same spot,
Got it.
more or less.
All right. More or less. So you guys, the axe is coming down. Do anything? Run, flee, go, oblique, jump in the water.
Ron wants to try to drag Eliethia away from him.
Okay, that's a good plan, actually.
Try to connect us to the red sphere with using the machine.
Okay. So you're fiddling with sphere again. And that did not quite work out as expected. Yeah, that very much did not work out as expected. What's Pris doing here?
Well, he struck Pris down. Now she's become stronger than he could possibly imagine.
I think that's probably it, yeah. I see what's going on. It's a silly thing. It's in front of everything. Yeah, come on. Okay. And it's locked. Oh no. I gotta do that. Killing me, man. All right, we're just going to do this. this way. I wonder what it's going to pick up this time. I'm not even sure what the hell that is. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a dude. So, yeah, your friends just kind of poof. There they are. I think this is the first time Bitterman and Ron, not Isaac, have been on screen at the same time. Ron, Isaac. When big dude with axe, the axe impacts this shield and stops. And he whacks it again. He's not getting through that thing. He's not getting through the pillar of energy that's surrounding this platform. He starts throwing things. Some of the rubble from the catwalk at it. You probably need to duck that. But no. You have this guy in a giant suit that's outside you, this sphere around you, or not sphere, this pillar around you. And because he doesn't have his toy, is not getting in. So make your reacquaintances, and what would you like to do now?
Ron's like, hey, bro, check out that big fish.
Oh my God. Which reminds me, by the way, when you check out the big fish, it's a bit larger.
I don't know about the big fish, but we need to make.
What'd you say,
So I don't know about the big fish, but we need to make tartar sauce out of this guy.
Bitterman wants to throw something, trash, whatever, to see if it goes out of the field he's standing in.
It does.
Does Bitterman have anything that would make big noise?
That
Ooh,
call.
but Virgil does. Virgil
Doesn't it?
has something that makes pretty big noise,
Go for
but
it.
he doesn't know if he can. He's like, "Ooh, it's about to get loud."
Okay. He does not dodge it. So as with the rock that Bitterman threw, it goes straight outside of this effect. It almost, to Loki and Janice, it seems to you as though the effect is forming itself around the weapon fire, so to allow it out, which is an interesting effect. You haven't seen, when you've talked about white globes and black globes before, you've never seen anything do that before. So this is maybe even higher tech than that. You get a nice, good, solid hit. That kind of rips off one of its legs. Now the thing is, as I say, giant. So his legs don't go all the way through the leg of the robot.
Yeah, this
But
is
right, but
mech
yeah,
suit.
it's a mech suit. That's right. It's a what we say, a 15-foot tall mech suit.
Mhm.
So that boom, takes off one of the legs below the knee, and he falls down. But no, he's just screaming and railing, and just some of these pylons that have survived for eons are crumbling around him in his rage. But none of that energy is getting through to you.
Okay, can Bitterman have a grenade?
Yes, Bitterman has a grenade.
He tosses it in the water in the direction of the fish.
All right. Oh, hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, fair enough. This was the guy I was looking for. So it goes Leslie. He rails. He tries to dig a trench with that giant axe just outside to see if he can kind of get beneath the field. And as he's doing that, and you're shooting off appendages, Rick shows up. It's about that big. So at that moment, when it leaps out of the water, by the way, it passes right through that dark sphere and doesn't notice. Nothing seems to happen. Again, those spheres are like Una's scrying spheres. They're showing something. And it latches on to the top of the mech and just drags it back under the water and dives deep with him. And that,
Always a bigger fish.
always a bigger fish, is that.
When it's the future, but you still have a druid on your team.
Yeah. Go grenades.
Bitterman has a bitter smile, and Ron pats him on the shoulder and says, "That guy was a total dick."
Yep. First time, yeah, he was. Thank you.
Your
So
favorite
it keeps going down and down and down. And then Loki, to answer your question, this scene happens. So let me find the recipe here. God, we have so many. By the time we're done with a couple of seasons of these games, it's just like a wall of characters and handouts and this and that. It's probably in here. We had murals. We had. You know what? I just remembered where I could find it. Hey, no.
Too bad the journal doesn't have a search function.
It does, but anyway, never mind. I'm not going to worry about it. So, back up top, switching gears. Now I had to turn off the search. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so that was Relemika unleashed in his power armor. All right. Oh, where is this guy? People. Dadgummit, people. Yeah, we'll go with him, Mathis. So Mathis here is sitting on the bridge of the Rithipal. He's essentially been overseeing this evacuation effort and has most of the people off. But a strange thing happens. Those show up about 1,000 kilometers away. Now, Mathis just has a freaking heart attack because he thinks it's another Black Fleet. And how the hell they got that close to the ring world and to him, he has no freaking clue, except they remember we have our comms isolated but not necessarily turned off. One of the comms engineers comes up and says, council member, you need to hear this. What is it? You need to hear this. To the no, it can't possibly be. To the Rithipal? Who's in command there? And Mathis responds, I guess I am temporarily. Who the hell are you? I'm Lord Admiral Mark Rickey.
Ensign Ricky?
Ensign Rickey. Aboard the battle cruiser Holloman. What the devil are you doing here? And the Rithipal lost for 100 years.
It wasn't lost. Were you right where it was?
And Mathis is like, I could ask you the same thing. Where'd you come from? We were on our way to returning to lines from Sothis, of course. Of course. And then Mathis points out, Lord Admiral, if it's all the same, would you look at your screens in that way? And several things hit the Admiral at once. One, bloody hell, is this a ring world? Two, bloody hell, is that a Black Fleet? And of course, both of those statements are true. Now, those of you down below are not privy to that initial conversation, but it didn't take very much longer for the Lord Admiral. Let's see here. Yes, Ensign Rickey. I'll move you over here. To agree to engage the Black Fleet while the Rithipal and these collection of civilian ships escape. So that happens sooner rather than later. I'm going to try something. I don't know how well it's going to work. Typically, this sort of thing doesn't work well. I'll need to share my screen for the moment, if you don't mind. Typically go better with, I guess this one. Can I see the rest of it? No. Where'd you go? No, I need to get out of that for a moment. Yeah. That's what I did. So within an hour or two, I'm not hearing anything. Come on, you can do it. I'm still not hearing anything.
I'm reading something.
All right, we'll run with it. And I don't know the frame rate that you're getting, but this was a conversation that Neff and I had last week, I think. We wanted to see the big ships fight. The Holloman leaves about half of her fleet behind to guard the Rithipol and the civilians, and then takes the heavier units to go tackle the Black Fleet. And it's a brawl. Apparently, these folks have done this before. Now here they've gotten pretty close range, which is kind of towards the end of the engagement because it opens up with the long range fusion cannons and mason guns. But to finish off these black ships, they need to be utterly destroyed. You can't leave anything behind. And so this is how they do it. Point blank, burn them until there's just a crisp left.
That's pretty neat. Now we just need 100 of those ships side by side doing it simultaneously.
X4. You can do that in X4. I just didn't have a recording of any of my old fleet battles, so I had to find something. But yeah, I used to just let X4 run fleet battles and stand on the bridge of one of the ships just to watch.
It's glorious.
It's pretty. You see the Holloman's actually starting to show a little bit of damage now. All right. You get it. Now that radio interference never really goes away. But fiddling with the controls, now that Janice has done it once, you learn how you can go from there back topside and then back out to the landing platform up top. And it's on the way out there that you come across. Now, he had to run into the kind of the bowels of this base up top to escape Polemica, the first fight. He was badly hurt himself. And when you finally do come across him, it looks like he's been crawling back towards that central chamber, pretty much with the intent of going through with what he had planned on doing the whole time. He doesn't know about any of the stuff that's happened. He sees you coming. He's got that sword at the ready and the Gauss pistol out. But then the fight kind of leaves him as he sees that's who it is. That bastard Relemica's still around here someplace. And as soon as I find him,
You'll have to go swimming for that.
He's been catfished.
then he kind of raises those eyebrows and says, "Is that so?" Well then, nothing stopping capping this place then. And damned if he isn't determined. He continues to crawl. He doesn't accept the help from anybody. But again, with the intent of destroying the ring world.
I think the situation is developed. I don't think we need to destroy the ring world.
Well, Virgil's just going to go grab him by the leg and pull him back.
Ow.
Words don't work with him. All right, you got to get hands on.
Get off me. Ow. As he tries to roll over to kick you off. Yeah, he broke his hip. Developed how?
You wouldn't believe me even if I told you.
You've told me some wild stories, boy. Give me a shot.
We got assistants and show him pictures of the fleet.
And you do. And by now you've had a chance to, yes, Ensign Ricky, you've had a chance to contact the Rithipol and have heard from Mathis, the conversation, the fact that the Admiral has successfully eliminated the Black Fleet and will be back within a half day's time with the balance of the fleet. And Dante's like, Ricky. I mean, Ricky? I knew him when he was a kid. Ricky. They made him an admiral. More than that, they made him a marquis. He's but there's more stuff, interesting stuff coming out of that. So yeah, you finally calm Dante down and at the fires. He's not psychopathic by any means. He's just very determined. So once you show him this, particularly Ricky, it's like, okay, things have developed.
They named a warship after Holloman.
And naming a warship after Holloman, yeah. No bleep. A freaking battle cruiser, no less. It was 125,000 tons, by the way. Okay. So things calm down enough for you to get this part of the story. And I guess I still need to try to share my screen one more time. Let's see here. Just a window, just a tab. Take it. I'll find it. There it is. That one. Yeah. I'll zoom out. That's great. So talking with Admiral Ricky. Let's find it here. Got it. All right, here we go. So you folks knew your position to be here, out in the rift, way far away from anything. This over here, I'll zoom in a bit, was your closest outpost. That was the mining outpost that you had rescued, and jump 2 away was waypoint 1, where you found the ruins of the Aslan fleet that tried to escape to the ring world just before the fall. Well, you've had a chance to look at the stars, and this is confirmed by the Holloman and the warships in company. You are now here. Jump 2 from Sonthert and Ivandale, right smack dab in the middle, and Reese over here. You're in Lanth subsector again.
Those poor miners.
Except things have changed a lot. And this is something that you get talking to Admiral Ricky, is that the Imperium is no more. What was the Imperium in this part of space is now called the Regency of Regina. That's the basically this part of the Imperium that survived by being on this side of the rift. All of these systems are reasonably intact. Regency of Deneb, I should say. Reasonably intact under the Archduke of Deneb. Some major, the political structures in this area has adapted to the threat of the Black Fleet elsewhere in space, and it looks like this. I'm going to zoom out a bit. You remember what the Imperium looked like before, right? You see all of these systems where there's nothing. All of this over here. Kor was the capital of the Imperium 100 years ago. This area in white surrounding it is now called the Apocalypse Zone, because there ain't nothing there anymore. Not even Black Fleets, really. Kor and trillions of people perished in the fall of the Imperium. And not much is left. But you, through dumb luck and perseverance, have brought into that mix a ring world. Habitable area in excess of 10,000 terrestrial worlds. Seas and lands and mountains and forests, and basically the entire extent of this area is an unbelievably rich, lush resource that could, all those trillions that were lost in the 11,000 worlds of the Imperium, they could fit on the ring world.
It could also turn into a whale and start eating plants, though.
Yeah, that's a bit of a downside. So the exchange of stories is pretty intense. The admiral requests, because this is new territory for everyone, that that he be allowed to establish an embassy from the Regency, that that he be allowed to station some warships in the vicinity in case, for whatever strange damn reason, more black ships show up, because there haven't been black ships in this subsector in 50 years. So the ending of it all is right here. Full circle. But the bare necessity started here in Ikus 4 game seasons ago, and traveled around land subsector, and then the Rithipol to Sonthert, and then off into the ring world. Now you're back where you started.
Does the bare necessity still have its receipt from the stuff we bought to sell?
Yeah, you're thinking about the what is the accumulated interest on that 2 credits that we put in the bank account way back when, right? Well, the first thing is that the bare necessity, since you ask, was considered lost along with the Rithipol. So it's written off by the owners and the banks. So there is no loan extant anymore that needs to be paid off. Besides, the Imperium collapse really kind of shook up the financial system, shall we say.
So if we could just get them to give us the what's the thing you buy, the title, we'll be good to go.
I don't think anybody's going to argue that the people of Rithipol Landing own the Rithipol and the bare necessity. I mean, Lord Admiral Ricky was just standing right on the Rithipol not long ago and marveling, because this is the first time he'd been there in a century, and he's like, okay, like what you done with the place, particularly since they parked it back in the lake, where it had been all that time. Yeah, the Regency isn't going to give me any flack. The Regency might give flack over, hey, there's this ring world, we want to exploit it, it's ours now. That's politics, but that's down the road. There you go. All right, so thank you for another Traveler arc. This concludes this season. We're going to, I'm going to pause for a while. So it'll just be Peg and E for a bit, round robining games. And we'll see where, if, when we want to go from here.
Thank you much, Matthew.
Thank you very much.
Admiral Ricky. Okay, so that's that. Gosh. Oh yeah, and I guess the epilogue of all that is Bitterman finally gets his chance to go out alone again into the wilderness. He kind of, he's still got his sadness roll and it's maxed out. But I imagine it won't take too long before a pack of Priss catch up with him and bowl him over. One in particular looks like the pack leader. There's another one that is kind of awkward for a Priss. Kind of a little standoffish, but still seems to recognize you. Sid. And then, in this time, they've gathered up a whole bunch of Priss, and now she has a whole new pack. And it's good that she knew you, because they were hunting you and trying to go in to eat you. But, she's not going to do that.
Well, Bitterman would have been okay with that ending because, circle of life and all that.
Right.
But now I guess the Hills relied with the sound of music as he sings with his new pack mates.
Or something like that. Yeah. They're not going to stick around for too long because, the pack is off they go. But nonetheless, the Priss somehow catches up with you, and a Priss catches up with you that looks really familiar and recognizes you, and you're thinking, man, okay. Let's see. Stop that. Yeah, I guess we'll save that. Alrighty, so comments, questions, verbal abuse.
Week or two later, I missed what?
Yeah.
Sam wakes up. Oh, yeah. There. Well, actually, you haven't entirely missed it because one of the destroyers is still here. it's right there. I'm like, okay, yeah. You miss all the good parties.
Now Virgil's going to have to buy fancy hats. It's a Regency.
Yes, it's a Regency. And you saw the Lord Admiral's fancy uniform. So, yeah. It's gone back to that. Oh, yeah. And that's a major loose end I forgot to mention. Agatha, Virgil's mother, did not escape. She was captured by the Relemicans in the ground battle on 2D. But the Relemicans weren't really up for much of a fight when the Black Fleet showed up. They were planning on just running as soon as they figured out where they could run to. And then this Imperium-looking fleet, Regency fleet, shows up. They're like, okay, definitely running now. Until some of the Regency ships point out, you don't know where you are, and you're much safer with us than with anybody else that might be out there. Because anywhere you go, it's still Regency. Okay. So there was a bit of negotiation, but they surrendered to the Regency units. But yeah, Agatha was captured, beaten up a bit. Relemica gave orders not to kill her because he had plans to use her as leverage against Rithwell Landing, but that didn't pan out as expected. And the epilogue to the epilogue, Relemica is a fantastically powerful psionic. So yeah, it's like Gandalf and the Balrog. They fight all the way down. Him and the giant Rex fish, and get down to the deepest part of that inland sea that's shielded inside the near Mount Kowalski, and he's duking it out and trading blows. And the thing that finally does him is this tiny little robot that's found a glowing sword.
Bob.
Yeah, well, we'll give Bob the coup de grace. Right through the helmet.
John did say, "Get him, Bob."
Hey, he heard his last instruction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what happened to Relemica and Bob. And then the giant Rex whale thing ate them both. But indigestion being what it is, Bob survived, but Relemica didn't.
I was totally going to say, anytime a bad guy gets dragged down to the depths and you don't actually see his end, that's never going to come back.
It's never going to come back, yeah.
He's got to be dead, right?
Yeah. And Eliethia doesn't wake up. Not sure what happened, but yeah, she doesn't wake up.
Put her on ice.
Somebody will spend the rest of their life studying her brainwaves.
Probably so.
So is born the Mr. Freeze of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was going to be Cap and Tam and Sharpie, but yeah. Phew. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm all epilogued out now, so
All right.
time for rest. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Be well, all.
Bye.
You know, yeah.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye-bye.